Well, good morning, guys. This morning got up and decided to do a little bit more work on this square body Chevy. So today it's going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to go ahead and start cleaning out that frame. And well, let me show you. I'm going to start cleaning out this frame, getting all that dirt and grease and a little bit of rust that's on there off of this vehicle. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, wire brush and a grinder with a wire brush. And I'm going to go ahead and try and see if I can get I kind of cleaned this little area up and shot some paint on there. And well, I'm guessing that's the one I'm going to use. Can says it's state paint or something like that, and it's got 85% gloss, so that's the one I'm going to use for that frame. I'm not going to worry about the differential because I'm not using that one, nor the leaf springs, but I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more than half of this frame so I can go ahead and get that bed on there and get that bed out of the way so I can bring in the cab and start working on it. So let me clean this up, guys, and let me go ahead and get started. Here goes the gas tank. That one's not going to get used. It's going to get replaced, so coming up, guys. Well, guys, we're just removing some of the stuff that we need to remove to be able to clean this frame. So we got the exhaust manifold, exhaust mufflers and stuff like that off, gas tank off. I'm taking brake lines off and all the electricals going forward, so that'll make it easier for me to go ahead and clean up this frame. So let me go ahead and continue, guys. Well, guys, this is what I've gotten so far. I cleaned up the frame up to where the cab mounts, and then from there I didn't do anything to it. I just want to get that bed on here so that I can go ahead and make space and get that cab in here and start working on it. So I'm going to let this paint dry overnight. I'll set the bed onto the frame tomorrow, and I'll drive the truck under this little shed here and start taking that one apart. So I just painted it. I do have to wait till it dries, so I'll just have to wait till tomorrow. I'll continue on this video tomorrow.
Well guys, there you go. We got the bed back on the front on the frame. It's not bolted or nothing. I just kind of set it on the frame. It's not even properly set. But I want to get this thing out of the way so that I can go ahead and bring in the cab, the truck with the cab, so I can go ahead and start tearing it apart and working on it. So I'm going to go ahead and roll this thing out, park it off to a side for now until we get the cab done. We'll come back and finish up the frame, and then we'll go ahead and put the cab on there and bolt the cab and the bed on the frame, and then just continue with the front end. So I don't know if I'm doing the proper steps, but I'm doing what I have to get this thing out of the way so I can go ahead and work in the shade and not in the sun. So let me go ahead and roll this thing out and drive the truck in. Well, as you guys can see, we rolled the chassis out with a bed just set on top of it. I mean, it still needs a lot of work, but I'm going to go ahead and stop on the bed. I'm going to go ahead and start taking that blue truck apart so I can go ahead and get that cab, you know, all cleaned up and paint it. We're going to paint the bottom, inside, and out on this one. So I got to strip everything out of this one. I got me a little box where I'm going to store all my screws in. Whatever I remove, I'm going to put in baggies, label, and put in the box so that I don't have to be looking for bolts when I come back to put this thing together. So let me go ahead and start disassembling the inside of the cab and see how far we can get. Well guys, I was checking out the door, and it's got a couple of stress cracks here and on the hinge. So we might not be able to use this one. I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to go ahead and clean this one up. I'm going to leave the window on there. I'm not going to fully undress this one yet. I'm going to go ahead and continue taking the other door panel. I'm going to go ahead and get the dash pad off and the gauges and all that. I'll come back to this one tomorrow. But for now, I mean, I don't know. It might work, it might not, but I'll let you guys know. Well guys, on this one, since this is all the stuff I took off of the driver's side door, I'm going to go ahead and close that bag. Got me a Sharpie. And I'll just label it. Close it up. And here I'll put driver door panel. Alright, and there we go. Yeah. Got me this little box at Dollar General, so that way all my screws and bolts are not just laying everywhere. Throw it in there, close it up, and continue. On this one guys, it's got Phillips head screws all the way around it in the bottom. I'm going to take this bottom little plastic cover, this little horn button, I'm going to take it off. So let me go ahead and get to it guys. Well guys, on this one here, I know my gauges work except for that fuel gauge, which I am going to have to fix. That little clear cover on the gauges is pretty nasty, so I'm not going to clean it up. I'm going to replace it. The gauges all seem to be pretty much intact. I mean, they're not faded or broken. Needles are in place, so I'm going to try and reuse those. Over here, I know the AC doesn't work. I am going to repair it. And that little radio there, is not original. I'm gonna see if I can find one on eBay so that I can get the original looking radio on there. Let me show you. This instrument cluster bezel, I mean, it's been painted before. I'm not saying they did a bad job on it, but they kind of messed up on a couple of places. But I'm not sure yet, but I'm gonna try and see if I can refinish this. If for whatever reason it doesn't come out nice, I'll just go ahead and order me a new one. But I'm gonna try. So let me continue. Well guys, I think we got enough for today. We took AC controls, radio, the cluster, light switch, AC vents on this side, and dash pad. I'm going to go ahead and see if I'm going to be able to clean up that cluster and the gauge of the bezel, and see if I'm going to be able to reuse this one. So let me go ahead and stop working on the truck, take these inside, and start working on these instead. So let me go ahead and do that, guys.